Hey folks, I'm so sorry that this took so long to get out. Things have been busy. Anyway, let's just move on. We've entered a new area this time, which is the Pinnacle, and as you can imagine, that's the top of the castle. Oh, and hey Yoko, what's up? Aha! Not really Yoko at all. This is a new enemy called Succubus, and it's got 2 item drops and a soul to collect, so I'll get those. Alright. We're off to a good start. I've got the Succubus Soul, which allows you to regain HP by drinking blood. Yum yum. Anyway, that's a level 1 soul, so I don't have to collect any more, thankfully. Yeah, and I pressed the wrong button. There we go. Yeah, that basically kind of does a little forward punch, and you grab the throat of your victim. And apparently I can't do it right. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, it does major damage and pretty good healing too. Anyway, I'll get her item drops now. Alright, I've got the item drops from Succubus, which are the flame necklace and the pitch black suit. Let's see, the flame necklace is an accessory. It's a necklace that symbolizes fire. As you can notice up in the stats, it boosts your defense and intelligence. Intelligence is a pretty good boost actually compared to my other items. Now, I'll put my Soul Eater ring back on, but basically, yeah, it's the equivalent of the skull necklace that we already have, so if you have one, you don't really need the other. Anyway, Pitch Black Suit is a suit that is the color of inky darkness. It boosts intelligence slightly, but it has nowhere near the defense of Everseeing at this point, so it's pretty much useless unless you don't have Everseeing, which you should. There's a bugbear for you. And over here we have some Malachis. And you'll notice this area starts to get full of monsters that take several hundred damage to kill, which basically means you either need a really powerful weapon, really high levels, or you need to be abusing your souls at this point, which is what I'm doing. My level is pretty high though. I'm level 70, I think. Anyway, let's head down here and get rid of this werewolf. Ooh, and a new enemy. This is the Flame Demon. Gotta watch out for those fireballs. There we go. Anyway, he's got a rare item drop and a semi-rare soul to collect, so I'll get those off screen and meet you back here. Okay, so far I have the Flame Demon Soul, which allows you to shoot devastating fireballs. There we go, and that's a level 1 soul. Basically that covers the whole length of the screen, so it's a pretty good soul to use if you want some fairly wide damage. Now as you can see there, you can combine it with the Bat Company Soul for a combo as well. Alright, and now I have the item drop for the Flame Demon, which is the Worm Robe. And as you can imagine, that's a piece of armor. It's a fire-resistant robe made from the hide of a worm. And it's not good on defense at all, although it does do good fire-resistant damage. Or resistance to damage, rather. It's basically the antithesis of the what was it called? Aquarius, I think, which is the water-resistant robe. But unless you're facing a lot of fire-based foes, it's not going to be of much use. So I would just stick with Everseeing or whatever your highest defense armor is. Anyway, let's head off to the left. Oh, and here's a new enemy. It's the clone of the Valkyrie with a new palette. It's called the Erinus. And I will get its item drops, and it's a very rare soul, and I'll be back. Okay, I've got Erinus Soul, which allows you to unleash divine energy that causes widespread damage. Sounds pretty useful. Basically, this is an area of effect soul. It creates sort of a circular range of damage, and anything within that range takes damage repeatedly until the soul disappears, so it's fairly useful for getting rid of a whole cluster of foes at once. Anyway, I'm going to get the item drops. Alright, I've got Erinus item drops now, which are the Halberg and the Melon. Didn't take too long, surprisingly. the hauberk is a chainmail made for easy movement. It's still not quite the defense of the Eversing, but it's higher than pitch black suit at least. And then the melon, I have several copies of, ironically. It's a melon of the finest quality. And it kind of looks like a green placenta. Anyway, enough of that. Here's another new enemy. This is the Dead Warrior. And this has 2 item drops and a very rare soul as well, so I will get those off screen and meet you back here. Okay, so far I have the Dead Warrior's item drop, which is the Partisan, and its soul, which allows you to use bullet souls while you're doing your regular attacks. So basically, as you can see there, it kind of takes a moment to do both. But if I equip the soul, I can override my regular attack with a bullet soul at any time. It's kind of useful, I suppose. Now, I should probably put Peeping Eye back on and show off Partisan, which is a long pole tipped with a broad blade. It's slightly weaker than the Falchion that I'm using, but I'll show it off since I'm tired of using that sword. Anyway, I'll get its other item drop. Okay, I've got the regular item drop from the Dead Warrior finally. It took quite a while, but it's a rice ball. Simple but tasty. And as you can see here, there's a secret passage which leads you to a truffle. Yet another consumable we probably won't ever use. One of the world's 3 great delicacies, rare black mushrooms. And as you can see over here, caviar is one of the other 3 rare items. So we have 2 out of the 3 rare delicacies now. And up on the left is the warp room for the Pinnacle. So let's head back to that main sort of hub for the underground area here. There we go. And let's head up to the upper right where we have a save room. Now, if I head up here, this is that corridor we came down from. So we'll go back to that in the next episode, or actually 2 from now probably, because I've got some stuff to do over on the left. Now this hallway I like to call the Yoko Hall because, as you can see, it's full of succubus clones of Yoko. Now you gotta be careful, as you can see there, these things can get out of hand quickly, so. And if you try to jump over them, they actually try to kick you. So you gotta be really careful not to rush through this hallway thinking you're safe. Although there are ways to get past pretty easily without having to kill them, such as the Bat Company soul. Anyway, through this hallway we return to the Demon Guest House. We're basically right above the area we first came into with the Demon Guest Hall. Remember that big corridor, kind of like this one, that froze the game every time I entered it? Yeah, this thing does the same thing probably, so I'm going to make sure to save before entering and exiting all of these doors, like this one. Anyway, over here we have another mimic, as usual. No treasure chest is real in this game. Yeah, I had a little freeze there. Anyway, we're back in the main hall, and up on the top right is what I like to dub the lesbian room. It's just full of a whole bunch of women. And a bed. Yeah, you can see the power of the Erinus soul here at work. It basically just toasted all of them with 3 or 4 shots, so I recommend using that if you're in a bind. And over here we have an iron golem, but I don't need to fight it since there's nothing beyond it to get. But it should be noted that that's probably the best area in the game to farm the iron golem, since you're right next to an exit. And down here we have some pink walls. Remember these from, there was one in, I think, the Dark Chapel, where you had to use the skeleton soul. But here we have to use Axe Armor to get past the first, then Killer Clown to get past the second, and finally Ukoback to get through the third. So if you don't have all 3 of those, you can't go on to this next area. And that's kind of why it's useful to collect souls in this game, because you never know what's around the corner. More candles. Aha! And here is the boss door for the second portion of this demon guest house area. Anyway, we will take on the boss in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.